It wasn't. Welcome back again this week, guys. We're back for another issue of the Geekdom podcast, episode 11. Joined once again this week by Nate. Nate, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Uh,
Not too shabby. Can't complain.
Can't complain. That's good. That's good. All right, so guys, we've been gone for a couple of weeks. It's craziness, but but we're back again this week, and we've got all kinds of news to talk about. First news we're talking about is something I felt like we've talked about a couple of times on the show now, and that is Cyberpunk was delayed yet again
Yep.
into December to December 10th.
Yeah. I'm super okay with this. I don't really see any issues with this delay. I'm sure a lot of people are ready for this game to fucking come out though.
Yeah.
But like my whole stance on this has been if they if they release it on December 10th like they plan to this time, because they could just delay it again, we don't know.
Yeah.
And it is not like mechanical perfection. They're gonna get dragged through shit,
Yeah.
basically. Like at this point, what? How long have they had since the first increase?
All right. So it was originally supposed to come out in April. Then it was moved to September. Then it was moved to November.
So yeah, I mean, again, I'm super fine with the delay, but they've had a long time.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not like again, if it's not literal perfection, that people are gonna lose their mind. As they should though. So
Yeah. No. No. Yeah. I 100% agree. At this point, it's been delayed enough times that you know something's eventually just got to give. And I believe they blamed it on the console versions of the game, which is really weird thing to blame it on. But they're like, oh, we have so many different versions we're putting out at one time. Well, maybe not put out so many different versions at one time. Maybe put a couple of weeks between which versions you're trying to get out there. But now you're trying to. But I guess it is what it is, and we'll see on December 10th if it actually comes or not.
I mean, yeah, at this point, I'm not holding them to any date. They've proved that they can't be held to a date, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see what happens, but no, it better be fucking perfect, or people are gonna lose their mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100% agree with you on that. Yeah, like they've had enough time now that they that it should be 100% right or not at all.
Yeah,
Not at
no,
all.
I agree.
But, yeah. So and because of the Cyberpunk delay, Path to Exile delayed its next season into January because Cyberpunk moved right onto the day that Path to Exile's next season was supposed to start.
Right, and that's a really odd move to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like no, I get what PoE's trying to do here. They're trying to make space so their game gets as much player or as many players as possible or as they expected to hit that new season.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't feel that people who hardcore play Path of Exile would have played Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
That's just me.
yeah. I think it's they are worried about the overlap though, just to be on the safe side. You know.
I mean, they should be, but I don't know. I think that's a little unnecessary.
Mhm.
That's me, but I get where they're coming from. I would have just liked to seen I would like to know how much of their player base they feel they're going to lose to Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's got to be pretty big.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they would have lost enough to warrant a delay. That's my opinion
And,
on it.
maybe not, but they're in a situation where it doesn't financially hurt them to move it back a month, make the other season a little extra longer. You know.
Right? Yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't financially help them either,
No.
in my opinion. So like, it's weird to me.
But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see when they decide to officially launch that. Like they said, they moved it into January. They didn't give a specific release date in January.
I hope,
Mhm.
I hope Cyberpunk pushes it back to January just to see
Yeah,
what Exile's gonna do.
it'd be interesting. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that one goes. But our next bit of news is like we got a whole stack of Ubisoft news this week. Ubisoft basically was dropping news like left and right, and
Yep.
one of the big things this week was Ubisoft Plus. Is they've had the subscription service for now, but they're kind of taking all of their programs and putting them all together one space. I have an Ubisoft account tied to my PS4. It sees all my stuff that sees PC, and all the shared things between them. But now it also sounds like we're also going to be doing some save sharing between them on certain levels, also.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
which is nice. But they also announced that they're working on a live action Assassin's Creed TV series for Netflix. They also announced that Far Cry and Assassin's Creed and Immortals will be 60 FPS on the next gen consoles.
It should be.
Yeah. Everything should be like nothing should have a reason to do that this next console generation whatsoever. Like
Yep.
you have to be 60 FPS. Yeah.
Like and that I actually took note on that too. Like we're to the point to where consoles have bridged that gap. There's no reason that every game shouldn't run at 60 on a console this generation.
Yes.
I mean that's my opinion. I could be completely wrong on that, but um I mean come on guys. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Like 60 is not a high bar to hit.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree, and it would be interesting to see exactly how many people do hit it. I expect most of them to. Let's see who's interested enough to going beyond. There is talk, and some things will be going beyond that.
Right.
So, yeah, it'll just be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, it's just a big week of announcements for Ubisoft this week, and then it just had the launch of Watch Dogs Legion, which I'll talk about later. It's a good time for them right now. But
Oh yeah, I mean they're just dropping bombs left and right. I'm
mhm.
super excited for that live action too.
Yeah,
It can either be absolutely amazing or it can be fucking terrible. But Netflix doesn't have a terrible rap other than the weird fucking thing they put out not too long ago. But um Netflix normally makes pretty decent stuff. We'll see what happens.
yeah. We'll just it's another one of those situations we just have to wait and see. But the next bit of news we got is Fall Guys related because it feels like we always talk about Fall Guys on the show. Godzilla is coming to Fall Guys this week.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, and I kind of want it. Like I didn't look to see how many crowns it costs, but I want it. But yeah, it's just that's just a little quick hit of news. You know, Fall Guys. It's always nice that they're still getting things like that.
Of
So
course, yeah, and
yeah,
they should.
yeah,
You know, they have a lot of room to work
mm-hmm.
with cosmetics,
Yeah,
and going this route is genius in my opinion. Like this is the route they should have been going. But I think they'll stay on this track for a long time with just awesome cosmetic releases.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I guess really that's the only way they're gonna kind of keep their game alive between seasons, right?
Mm-hmm. But
Like,
this new season's only just a couple weeks old, so. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully they keep on that track. It'd be interesting to see more games like that, or movie tie-ins, once
right.
movies start to come out again. But our next bit of news is WoW finally got an official release date, and I'm sure you're actually excited to see this.
Well, I was, but the delay kind of pushed me off playing it. Um, so like World of Warcraft to me is a boredom buster.
Hmm.
Like nothing else to play, I'll load up WoW and just dick around.
Yeah.
But like with the delay, um, into November, I don't know if I'll actually pick it up and play a ton. So that delay may have actually killed that game for me. Because there's just going to be so much else in a very very short time frame to play
Hmm.
that I don't know if I'll pick up World of Warcraft. That's me though.
Yeah. Now, since I know it's been a couple of weeks since we last talked, have you played any since the pre-patch has launched?
Nope, I have not. So I mean, I don't. Again, I don't know if it just killed it for me, but I don't know. I may pick it up and try it just a little bit. We'll see. Um, but currently, I just have no interest in playing Shadowlands,
Yeah.
and it's because they pushed it back. Because I would be playing Shadowlands today, basically, if it wasn't pushed back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You actually, yeah, it would have launched like what 3 days ago, I think,
Yep.
something like that. But yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how that works for them. A lot of things getting moved around and shuffled this time of year now, and yeah,
Yep.
more so than any other year. So
That's what I was gonna say. We should all just basically expect it at this point.
yeah,
You know.
I absolutely agree with you. And we'll just have to see how it works out when it comes out for them. It might be in an interesting spot now that Cyberpunk's not before it; it's after it.
Right.
But our next bit of news this week is Halo Infinite has lost another director.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the second director the game has lost in the last year, and I think the third director overall.
Yep.
So this game, I just don't know how it's going to be good.
Um. So my opinion was that this game was already on super thin ice. Um. They had a lot. They had a lot to accomplish to make this game a blockbuster title like Halo used to be. And I don't I never thought they would really accomplish that anyway. Halo is never going to be Halo the
No.
way I knew it growing up
Yeah.
again. Um but like losing directors, making excuses for delays, and what they showed us before that was just fucking horrid. Like it just didn't look good. It looked like fucking Xbox 360 graphics. Um it's not good. I feel like losing another director basically means the downfall of this title. I don't see it being anything worth playing, and that's just me. And a lot can change in however long they're going to take to release it. A
Yeah.
ton can change, but I just don't see it. I don't see it coming through, man.
Yeah.
I really don't.
No, no, I 100% agree with you. And at this point, you have to wonder, like, is there just a point where Microsoft goes, all right, put it out. We're tired of putting money into it, or do they go, oh my God, this is our big franchise. We can't afford to do this. Scrap it and start it over. You know.
See, that's what I think's going to happen.
Hmm.
And I don't think that's the right play. Because if they've had that many issues so far, they're going to have those same fucking issues again.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
I mean, my opinion though, again, they could make an amazing game and they could have
Yeah.
like lost that director in a good sense, not in a bad sense. Maybe that guy was a dick. I don't know, but I don't know. I just don't think it's going to do a whole lot.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah. It's another one of those situations where the story's just going to keep evolving as we go on, and we just have to,
Yeah.
see what happens as it goes. But yeah. So wow, we are absolutely churning through the news this week again. Uh,
We really are.
yeah.
and I felt like I've had a lot to talk about too.
Yeah. But so our next bit of story news is some story news came out. They officially launched the Final Fantasy 16 website and it gave a couple of story bits. So the two guys that we saw in the trailer are brothers. One of them has the ability to summon summons, and
Hmm.
they have some kind of personal vendetta against Ifrit.
Yeah, um, which is super wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to hear where they go with that story arc.
Mm-hmm.
But like, um, one thing I thought was super wild was the way they kind of portrayed these summons is they pick their summoner.
Mm-hmm.
So these, I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Nah, yeah, I couldn't either. So,
Like icons.
yeah, I would say
I'm not
icons.
sure,
I would just call it icons.
but it seemed like every every main city,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak, or every main, I don't know, capital basically has a summon, and some of these people love having that, and it's like the pride of their town, and then some people actually despise it. So it's weird to me that these these icons, I guess, choose their, I don't know, the person that can summon them, because I don't think that's really been a thing in any other Final Fantasy.
No.
And I wonder how that's going to affect going forward and getting more summons. Like, how are you going to gain the trust of these icons, which in this game seem super sentient, right? If they
Mm-hmm.
can pick who actually uses them,
Yeah.
how are you going to gain these, or are you not going to gain these?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it'd be definitely. It'll be cool to see what direction they take that in.
Oh yeah, I think there's going to be some kind of fuckery with it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure there's some kind of fuckery with it.
Oh yeah.
But no, I'm a Final Fantasy buff, so I'll definitely play this game to figure it out on my own.
But yeah, and I believe that game, whenever they showed it off, it said 2021, right? Because
I
like
believe so.
because everything feels like it's coming really fast for that game right now. So
Oh yeah,
that game's way farther along than what we could have ever imagined. I would think at this point.
I'm actually gonna look up. That's not the game that I want. It showed me Final Fantasy 15's release date, and I was like, yeah, I don't want that. I know there's not one set in stone, but
Oh, they haven't announced a release window. It says.
okay, so it's currently scheduled to be revealed in 2021, so it may not even come out in 2021.
Yeah, it just feels really weird that there's this website already out there. That's officially licensed by them with all this information on it. If we're not going to see it next year.
Right, no, I agree with that, but
Well, hopefully we get some more news down the pipeline here soon. But our next bit of story news we got this week is the microtransactions in FIFA are now illegal in the Netherlands,
yep.
and there's also a little side note to this. There's currently a lawsuit pending in the courts in Canada over the FIFA or just EA's microtransactions in general. So yeah, so the Netherlands have declared it a form of gambling, and they are now to be stripped out of the games over there, which I think is
Yeah,
really interesting.
I do too, but it was only a matter of time before somebody got fucking nailed with this
Mhm.
somewhere.
Mhm.
And I mean, sports games have the worst pay to
Yes.
win style packs I've ever
Absolutely.
seen.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's a good thing I think at least they should be mandated to show percentages.
Yes.
This because I mean Rocket League did it before they switched the entire crate
Yeah.
design.
Yeah.
They actually put in, well, here's your percent chance to get this, 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 and this, or whatever rarity item in the crate. Um, so yeah, I mean, of course, these people are gonna get hit with this. It's actually gambling. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Mm. Yeah,
It's
just
gambling.
just because just because you don't get a quote unquote profit from it or a way to make money from it doesn't make it gambling.
Right.
You know. And I'm surprised that some of these microtransactions even fly in some countries, like in Germany. Uh, I'm pretty sure it was Germany for the longest time. They couldn't hold Magic tournaments over there and give out money as prizes.
Real. Well, I mean, yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, they considered it gambling. So whenever they would have Pro Tour or PTQ type higher events, there they always gave away like iPads and scholarships and shit like that. But yeah, it's nice to see somebody actually finally starting to come after these companies for some of these ridiculous microtransactions. But hopefully we start to see it more. But the U.S. will of course be the last country to attempt any kind of stoppage of that. The lobbying here is just too much for stuff like that.
Oh yeah. But no, I'm just gonna stick with it. Um, they should have fucking known better.
Hmm.
Um, I'm glad. Maybe this will stop um the gambling in sports games because I'm kind of fine with it anywhere else, and I'm super fine with it if it's just cosmetics.
Hmm.
Cosmetics is completely different to me, but like when you can actually gamble for a chance to get a leg up, that's a little much.
Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree. But like I said, hopefully we start to see more countries start to do this now. But speaking of actually some slightly positive EA news, Anthem has released another update of what they're doing and planning on changing in the game,
Yep.
including definitely changing how all the different frames. I always call them frames because that's just what works in my brain,
Yeah.
and how the weapons will work. They're giving a clear definition of what's a primary weapon, what's a secondary weapon. Adjusting values for those type of weapons, and they keep talking about what they're going to do, but I wish they would just say, okay, and this is when we're releasing it.
Yeah. I was actually a pretty big Anthem buff back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great move for them. I think they're headed in the right direction. The only thing I fear is that it's going to take them too long to get where they need to be and still keep that want to play the game there as well.
Yeah.
Um, I don't. I'm excited for what they're going to do, and I feel like um I really think that adding depth to the javelins will actually solve a large issue with the game,
Mm-hmm.
which there was just no depth in what you could play or what you could do. But also talking on that point, if they don't fix the lack of content, it doesn't matter how cool their javelins are, nobody's gonna play the fucking game.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah. And
Um,
they've talked about that in past, doing different, changing up a lot of the content. Like they keep talking about the things they're going to do, but yeah, we've yet to see any of it. So
right.
at this point, they need to do it and announce like, hey, a free upgrade to PS5 or whatever in the world it's going to take to do it because
Yep. What they need to do.
I 100% agree with that. But speaking of looter shooters, Bungie put out a vid doc for some of the stuff coming in Beyond Light, some story stuff, some exotic stuff, different changes and stuff like that. If you haven't watched it, if you're even slightly interested in Destiny, I tell people to give it a watch. It's very interesting. Uh, this is a planet. The new planet we're going to, Europa, is one we've heard of in the Destiny lore since the beginning of the game. And originally, in like the early planning stages of the game, it was supposed to be part of the game, the original game. So it's nice to see a lot of that old stuff that didn't quite make it before make its way back in. There's rumors of what, we know where the raid is. It's in a place called this Deepstone Crypt. For anybody who doesn't play Destiny, the Deepstone Crypt is where basically all the robot, guardians and people in the game come from.
Mm-hmm.
And, the collector's edition of the game has been shipping out to people, and it comes with a journal of Clovis Bray, who is one of the people that invented the Exos. And when you read that journal and find out like how he came up with the idea, and like there's pages ripped out of the book, so we don't know the whole story. So of course that will be in the game, but it's super interesting. I'm not going to spoil anything here for anybody who doesn't want it, but like the way he goes about making the exos and what he uses to make the exos is kind of insane.
Yeah, it a little bit is. But yeah, I still don't know if I'm gonna play that.
No, I understand. Like you had some fun with Destiny. You did some grinding and then it was fun for a little while, but your character's going to automatically be brought up to 1050. Come to 10th, and so you'll have that, and you'll have the new player experience to go through, and then eventually probably about 2 months you'll have Vault of Glass. So
No, I'll probably be around for Vault of Glass just
yeah,
to play because that's just it's OG.
yeah, yeah. No, I 100% understand that. Yeah, and you did play through the Forsaken content, like
Yeah,
yeah, that was interesting
it was fun.
for you. Yeah, but yeah. So we're 9 days away from the launch of the expansion now. Me and my clan members have been prepping. Everybody's got all their stuff stored up. Our vaults have been cleaned out. Everybody's ready to go. We're just kind of twiddling our thumbs and killing time until it comes.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like what everybody's doing right now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, basically. No matter what you're waiting for, you're still waiting. Like nothing's like usually October is the biggest month. This year it was definitely not. Like I was looking at all the things I have pre-ordered for next month, and oh man, it's so much stuff. And like Demon Souls and Spider-Man Miles Morales come out.
Oh yeah.
So uh, Assassin's Creed comes out.
Mm-hmm.
The new Zelda game comes out. The Hyrule Warriors, Dynasty Warriors and Hyrule type game. That comes out. Which I'll get that, and that can sit on, that's not a high priority game. The Destiny expansion comes out. The same day Assassin's Creed comes out, so I have to prioritize one over the other. I didn't even mention Call of Duty. Call of Duty comes out, and I actually
Oh
bought
yeah.
Call of Duty this year, so
Really?
yeah. Yeah, so I haven't bought Call of Duty 3 years, I want to say.
Yeah. You know what's weird? I'm actually not. It's gonna take a lot for me to buy this COD because I bought Modern Warfare and I didn't play it as much as I should have for the $60 I spent on it.
Yeah, well, especially if you're going to play it on PC, because I saw the other day that if you want the high end, if you want to bump up your graphics on PC, it's a 250 gig install.
Yep.
Yeah,
Makes no sense.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so I mean, and on top of that, we were going to have Cyberpunk in the middle of that, and I'm sure I'm missing other games that I just don't personally care about, but other people do. It's just so much. Like
Yeah.
one or two of those things wouldn't have hurt to come out in October, you know. Like if Call of Duty could have come out in October, that would have been. And you know they probably would have got the double dippers too. You know, Call of Duty seems like to be one of those type of games where people would probably double dip, like you know, buy it on PS4 and then turn around and buy it on PS5. Which and there's an upgrade path. You know, there's like a $10 fee to upgrade from one to the other. They actually have a digital version on the store that already has the $10 in it that just says, yeah, you own a PS4 and a PS5 copy of the game. So,
Huh.
because that's the one I bought.
Oh, well, of course, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it right.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's you know, next month is this month officially today. Today is the 1st of November. Is a crazy uh, busy month. And speaking of people who probably have some time on their hands now, uh, a team of CS:GO players have been banned for gambling on them. I guess on themselves, right? Did they ever officially confirm what they were like? Like were they just betting against themselves or and throwing games, or you know, did they ever officially say?
I don't think they will, and they probably won't because of the litigation happening with it.
That's very true.
Because I
Very true.
mean, we know how Doctor Disrespect went.
Yeah, we still don't know anything about.
Um, but no, this has happened before in CS:GO's history. It's happened more than one other time. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like I have a problem with CS:GO, and and it's not really based around this issue at all. Um, and I figured I'd just like throw this in here as my 2 cents. This game's been stagnant for years. It's been dying for years, and Valve refuses to do anything with it. CS, in essence, all of CS Source, um, Go, uh, really turned the FPS strategic competitive shooter on its head.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think of a competitive shooter, what I personally think of is CS because it was huge. I mean, it basically helped esports be esports back in the day, you know? That was one of the first games that really pushed esports out there and it got huge credit for it. And I think Counter Strike could still be on the top of that list, and Valve just fucking refuses to do anything with it. Um, I know they're using it as a cash cow, basically, but Chris and I hopped on the other day to play a regular ranked fives match, and there was only like 5,000 people searching for rank game.
Hmm.
Like, that's horrible.
Yeah.
When a game used to pull in over 1 million players in ranked a weekend, and you're telling me only 5,000 people are playing it at that point in time in that game mode, they've done something wrong. And I don't think that Valve will ever put another Counter Strike out. I really don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
So they're just going to let it die, which is super weird to me. Makes no sense. I don't know. I just have beef with Valve over that. It just seems like stupid fucking business practice and a child they just want to send to the orphanage basically.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. It is, you know, like you said, it's definitely a dying game. It's definitely not what it used to be, you know. And you know, you used to constantly just see people, you know, videos of people doing skins or you know doing the Guardian stuff and watching, you know, people figuring out if they're hackers or not, all kinds of craziness. Now you don't see hardly as much of that stuff anymore. So,
Yeah, and you should. I think I know CS:GO is a very old game.
mhm.
It's when did it come out?
Ooh, in Go form, I want to say at least 2010.
CS:GO 2012.
Oh,
CS:GO came out in 2012. The, like World of Warcraft. When did WoW launch?
uh, 2004.
Okay, and it's still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like in and I feel like Valve thinks they have to do a ton to this game to make it relevant again, and you really don't.
Mm-mm.
Like, just put some TLC into CS and make new maps. That's, I mean, let players make the new maps because they're great at it.
Yeah.
They've been great at it for a long time. Cut down on the fucking hacking that's in almost every goddamn game
Yeah.
that has pushed people away from it and went to Valorant. Give it a graphics upgrade,
Hmm.
and that's all. In my opinion, that's all they would have to do.
Yeah. Which still seems like a lot, but also not that much.
Well, I'm sure it does seem like a lot, but
Yeah.
when you consider Valve is probably a multi-billion-dollar
I
company,
mean,
I
they
would
are. Yeah.
assume.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they have a huge fucking team that they could put on it for like 3 months and crush it.
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know. It's just, I just think Valve's fucking stupid. I don't know. That's me. I have a big problem with that. I just had to put my 2 cents in and badmouth Valve for a little while for
No,
making
no, no.
our fucking
It's
game.
perfectly acceptable because you told me beforehand you were going to, and I was like, go get them. I don't really play CS:GO much anymore because my hands are puddles. They don't work like they used to. So
Well, what upsets me is I didn't play it when the craze was huge, right?
yeah.
I didn't I didn't play I didn't play when CS was big and booming. And
Mhm.
and it pisses me off that I'll never get that chance again because they're just lazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
so
that's what it is.
yeah, and I played a little bit back then, and we had a friend that was addicted to skins. At one point, I know, at one point he had probably $2,500 or more worth of skins in his account.
Yeah.
And like at one point, I think he owned 3 knives
Yeah.
randomly. I know because I bought one of them from him. So
I still want a knife. Even though the game's dead,
hmm,
I still want a knife.
yeah, everybody does. You always want that fancy flair.
Yeah.
I've still got most of my nice high end, some decent stuff, but like there's no reason for I feel no reason to get rid of them at this point. So, but except for my AK skin, I sold that because it was worth like $60. But
Do you have a knife skin?
not anymore.
Okay, I was gonna say if you do, you should at least let me borrow it.
And
I'll still play.
no, so yeah, I remember I seem to recall after I got that knife skin from him, its price spiked like 2 months later, and I was like, all right, I'll just dump it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because it was a pretty basic one, anyways. It was like a flip stainless steel, I want to say, but yeah. But yeah. So yeah. So, but going back to these guys actually being banned, these guys are going to be only banned for a year, which seems weird to me. I was like, I think you get caught gambling on yourself. I think I start to think lifetime ban at that point.
Well, it had happened before.
Hmm.
Um, man, I can't remember the team that it was, but there are still people banned today
Yeah.
because of it. Why did they? And like, if you're only gonna ban these guys for a fucking year, remove the bans on the other people that haven't been able to play the game for three fucking
Hmm.
4 years.
Yeah.
Like, come on, they did the same fucking thing. I don't know. It's I don't know. Maybe I'm just too opinionated on the topic. I think I am.
No, it's fine. Fine, I understand completely. But so our next bit of news is going to be talking about a game that not only did we play last night, which we'll cover and also in what you've been playing, but a game called Phasmophobia
Oh
just recently came out, and it has a hacker problem.
yeah, and I this may be just me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a problem with it.
Mm.
Um, Here I can understand if like a lot of crazy shit was happening, but
Mm-hmm.
all I've seen so far, video evidence wise, is people are just scaring the fuck
Mm-hmm.
out of broadcasters. I I don't I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a horror game. So you're getting spooked from places you didn't even think. That's a real fucking horror game, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know they need to lock it down, but I also think it would be a cool idea if they could somehow, um,
Maybe some Twitch integration.
yes, yeah, exactly. And that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Because the game's so huge right now, if they could just input Twitch integration, it would stop all of these hackers from hacking, I believe, and people would just go to Twitch channels to fuck with people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it's the perfect game for it. It is the perfect game for that. I don't know. Just me.
Yeah. But yeah, now that we're past the hacker part of it, yeah, I still think, I'm not too worried about it. It's a little weird that Twitch streamers calling out because these clips of them getting hacked and getting scared probably are doing bigger numbers than their actual streams are, so they should probably just calm down. But but let's talk about this game.
Okay.
So me and you played this game last night.
We did.
And it was an experience for me because I decided it was going to be fun for me to go in completely blind. And little things happened, like not only did I die twice, and thought I was going to die a third time, and I figured out the only reason I don't think I died the third time is because the crucifix was laying on the bed right next to me.
Oh, yeah.
Or I'd have definitely died, and I couldn't get the door open because I forgot which way the door opened. That's what happened to me in that room, by the way. I don't know if you guys ever figured that out. I was trying to open the door out instead of walking back and pulling it in towards me.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I died in my first ever game.
You did?
Oh, absolutely did. I had a little panic attack over it.
You did?
Yeah. Another game, one of our friends died in a room and I tried to jump out a window.
He did?
Apparently,
I definitely did.
Apparently, I went from Phasmophobia to Friday the 13th because I was trying to sail out windows, and you can't do that in that game. I found out just then when I said, "Can I jump out this window?"
Nope. Oh man, that was great though. I loved hearing you scream like a bitch.
Then at one point, I might have talked into the spirit box for about 5 minutes while it wasn't on.
You did, and then promptly died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As soon as I turned the spirit box on, talked to her one time. So yeah, I've got my spirit box out. I'm talking. Next thing I know, I see Nate flick his flashlight on. She's standing right in front of me. That Nate is gone immediately, and I'm dead. So yeah.
What did you want me to do?
I mean, I don't know.
I can't touch that bitch. I can't save you. Like,
Throw your flashlight at her, just and run. I don't know.
I should have. I did.
Yeah,
turn around and
because
leave,
at that point, I don't think we had the spirit smudge stick things. So
no, we didn't.
And we didn't have a lighter, so it wouldn't have mattered if we did.
No.
Which we found out the hard way.
Yeah.
And at one point, we might have pissed off a demon enough to smack a book off a table while we were standing in the room.
Yeah, I was like, "Where's that book? It's over there on the table." Bitch, no, it ain't. Where's that book?
No, it's in the table. It's in the floor next to the coffee cup. She already threw across the floor. All right, let's peace out. It's an Oni. Let's get the hell out of here.
Fuck this shit. I'm out. Yeah, it's super scary game, super fun game. I love that game.
But there's a couple of things I wish. I wish in the large areas, because our last map we played was the asylum, right, or school. Yeah, asylum. I wish in a big map like that you could go up to 6 players. I think people would want to spread out more if you did that.
So, do you know in those hacks, the hacks are actually allowing more people to join in a lobby?
Oh.
So that's not a bad thing to me. I think they need to look into making that happen in general. And I think if you have a lobby over 4 people, you should only be able to do medium or large sized areas.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, because listen, that asylum is 56 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's around 56 rooms. There's no fucking way that at the end of that, like if you have 4 people and we just got lucky and strolled up on the
Mm-hmm.
big bad,
Yeah.
um, it would take you forever to find the room that the ghost is in if we wouldn't have
I mean,
gotten
it
lucky.
still took us like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's with 4 people, and I get that, but I feel like it could and would have taken us a whole lot longer. If we because that was on the ground floor. I'm not sure if the asylum has more than one floor. I
It has a
assume it
basement. It
does.
has a basement because right there where that room was, there was a set of stairs right there at the corner that went down. I went down the stairs and looked, and I thought I saw some kind of funky reflection at the end of the hallway, and I came back up the stairs and just never went back down them again.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. And like if we got lucky on going the correct way the first time too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. There was a whole nother side of that floor we didn't cover.
yep, yep. So I mean, it could have taken us 20 minutes. It's just rough in my opinion. I do believe there needs to be an update put out to be able to have more than 4 people.
Yeah.
Um, it's a fun game. Twitch interaction also needs to be a thing, in my opinion, which I'm sure after seeing the huge explosion, they'll do that. I just worry since it's a one-person developer, I worry that it'll be too late.
Could be. Yeah.
Um, because this game, there's a lot they can do with this game.
Mm-hmm.
I just worry that it'll take this one person if he doesn't find any help. Um, I'm afraid it'll take too long to keep that hop rolling. Kind of like the same way I did with Fall Guys, but Fall Guys has a team behind it.
Yeah.
Like now, I feel like this man is like on severe crunch time because if there's not something in the next 2 to 3 months, the game's gonna die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would actually say if there's not something else to do by the end of November, he probably. But the game is still early access,
It is.
so I'd imagine he's using some of that money to either bring in more people or hire a small studio to come help him. I would hope.
I would hope so too. Like I think a small studio, as long as he still has like all creative control,
Yeah.
which he should because he has a great idea and what he's done so far has been great. But as long as he still has creative control, I think bringing in a small team would be amazing. Like that game's gonna explode if that's what he does. Or he could just take all the money and go on a fucking holiday and say fuck everything.
Yeah.
That's fine too. But I'm just saying.
But so yeah, that was the first part of what you've been playing. What else you been playing?
Rocket League, of course. Been playing a little bit of CS, a little bit of Tarkov this week.
Mm-hmm.
I played some Heroes of the Storm. I actually streamed Heroes of the Storm the other night. I actually streamed Rocket League last night and had a whole slew of fucking issues.
And yeah, I heard.
It was God, dude. It was awful. It was so bad.
You've been playing any more NBA 2K?
I actually haven't played NBA because of the games you gave me.
Oh yeah, that too. So what one of those games are you playing right now?
I'm still trying to get a little bit further into Persona to see if I'm actually gonna enjoy it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's even though it's a JRPG and I'm super down for JRPGs,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit of a weird JRPG from
Mm-hmm.
what I'm used to.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of trying to I'm trying to really get in it, absorb it, and then see if I dig it. Because that feels like one of those games that you can't put, an hour into
Yeah.
determine if you like it. I feel like I'm gonna have to put at least 10 into Persona 5 to
Mhm.
see if I really want to play it. So,
But yeah. But before that, you played Uncharted 4. I don't think we ever got a chance to talk about that on the show.
no, I don't think so either. Actually beat Uncharted 4. Uh, I have I have a lot of issues with Uncharted 4.
Hmm.
Great game, beautiful game, but man, it gets really really annoying to have to Assassin's Creed wall climb every fucking where you have to go. And I don't mean like almost everywhere. No, if you're headed towards a plot objective, no, you're fucking climbing on the goddamn cliff
Hmm.
the entire game. The entire game. Um and while most of the time that mechanic is great and the wall climbing is great and it doesn't really glitch out, there are times where he just doesn't grab the fucking ledge or it just doesn't jump in the direction that you really wanted it to. But all in all, it was a good game. I'd give it like, in my opinion, I would give Uncharted like a 7 out of 10. The plot was cool. I like the National Treasure esque of the plot, you know.
Hmm.
Um, because National Treasure is a movie I like to watch too a
Yeah.
lot. Um, but no, a good 7 out of 10 for that game in my opinion. Good story, good interaction between the brothers and all of the characters in the game. The dialogue between the characters in the game felt very natural to
Hmm.
me, and sometimes that's really hard for a studio to do. But no, it was more so the running and jumping mechanics that I had a problem with.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. But
Maybe I'm just bad at controller, but
yeah.
I had some issues.
But so for me, a lot of Destiny. Of
Of course,
course. And so I streamed some Five Nights at Freddy's in VR.
I got to watch that clip. It was
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that was interesting. Definitely didn't jump and scream like a crying child in that one at all. Uh,
Not at all.
not at all.
At all.
And then let's see here. Oh no, it's been a couple of hectic weeks for me. I haven't got to play that much. Trying to think if there's anything else I've really started besides Watch Dogs Legion, and no, I think it's just Watch Dogs Legion really. And
Um,
so I've got about 12 hours into the game now.
I haven't actually got to touch Watch Dogs Legion,
Hmm.
but what I've seen looks fucking great. I bet you're enjoying the hell out of that game.
Very much so. I finally got a mime now. I have a mime.
Nice.
Yeah, I recruited a mime. So for those that don't know, I'm not going to get too spoilery into the
Right.
beginning of the game, but in the beginning of the game, basically, you play a mission, and then after that mission, you select your character. What it'll do, it will randomly generate like 15, 20 characters, and you choose one from the list, and that be that person, their attributes. So I ended up picking like this middle-aged British dude that has police connections. So now when one of my people gets arrested, they get out of jail faster.
Hmm.
And also, I earn more money when I do things because of
And I
him.
thought that was like one of the coolest
Hmm.
things. I knew this game was going to be great from what we heard about it, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
Um, and it just seems like I think we talked about this a long time ago when we seen the trailers for it.
Hmm.
Um, it's one of those games that tried something new
Hmm.
with you can recruit anybody. These people have different attributes and it worked really well. Like from what I've seen, it worked really, really well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like I recruited an old lady, and but she is she's very frail, very slow, but she has incredible hacking skills to the point I can almost hack something from 3 blocks away.
Good lord.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's
This
it.
old woman is tech savvy as a
Yeah,
motherfucker.
well, she was a computer engineer.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, yeah. So each one of them also has a job listed on them. Like I've got a construction worker. She's got a massive a drone big enough to climb up on top of and fly
Damn.
around on it. Yeah, yeah. Like I did a mission with her. That was a story mission. That was a story character. But still, yeah. Even though it was a story mission, it basically told me to go recruit someone at the construction site. They sent me to a construction site and gave me like 6 people standing around that I could recruit. So I got to choose which person I recruited, which attributes I liked more, and yeah, it was really awesome. I actually stole a server off the top of a building with her and her drone. So yeah, like I said, I haven't gotten too far into it, but I've really enjoyed what I've got out of it so far, and hope to continue to do that going forward. That's probably going to be my main goal for this week. I've only got 1 or 2 things left to do in Destiny I want to do before Beyond Light start, and beyond that, I'm pretty good on everything else.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
But,
Don't mind me. I'm just over here doing computer maintenance.
no,
I
no.
don't know why, but my ADHD made me do this. I apologize greatly.
Oh, okay.
I have the side panel off to my computer right now.
Oh, wow.
I don't. Yeah. I don't ask.
But yeah, I also definitely want to play some more Phasmophobia this week. So
Yeah, we can definitely do that. We can co-stream that again.
yeah. And then yeah, that's basically for all of what you've been playing. But so anybody who's watched the show before, you know, at the end of every show we do a top 5. And since Halloween was yesterday, we decided to go for our top 5 scary games, or games that scared us, is probably a better way to say that. And because you know, like most of the stuff on here isn't surprising to me at all. But do you want to go ahead and start with your number 5?
Sure. My number 5's Dead Space.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dead Space was game like genre breaking to me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought horror games were all meant to be played. I don't know, kind of like every other horror game that's made. Like Resident Evil has a specific kind of setting and feel that it's in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So does Outlast has a specific kind of setting and feel it's in. It's in like a normal, you know, just village, town, all that stuff, just regular everything like that. And then Dead Space puts you on a fucking spaceship and is like, here, have fun. You're up here with them and you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's horrifying to me.
Yes.
Like, waking up out of, like, a cryogenically frozen state and being like, well, it's me versus whatever the fuck these things are now. Let's go have fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dead Space was great. And I mean, it was one of the first things to where it had animated deaths for almost everything. Like, very, very animated deaths
Mm-hmm.
for everything. Like getting sucked out of a window. Yeah, that was horrifying. I remember when I first shot a glass and blew it open and got ripped into fucking space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dead Space is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best horror games of all time. So
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with that. So my number 5 isn't a game that actually. So it's a game that I'm not going to say the name of it. Whenever you first start it, you get in there and you keep hearing these stories about a member of the family that went insane and killed people. Like there used to be a serial killer that lived in this house, and the game is very much so. When you figure it out in the end, not a scary game, but uh, through 90% of the game, you're absolutely terrified that something's coming to get you, and that's Gone Home.
I don't think I've played it.
Really? Yeah, so Gone Home is a story about a girl. You go home for the first time in like 2 years. You've been traveling overseas or something like that, and you come home and nobody is in your house. And you find audio tapes of family members, and like you find blood on the floor at one point.
Okay.
And and you keep seeing all these clippings about the killer that used to live in your house, and like he was your uncle or a family member of some kind, and you're just like, okay, this bastard's here somewhere, and you spend 90% of the game, literally all the way up to the end, like shortly before the end, you find like the crawl space where this dude would sleep, and you're like, okay, he's coming to get me now. Never see this dude. You never see him, and it just ends up being like a sweet love story about a girl that ran away from home because her family didn't accept her.
Yeah, after you mention like the setting and everything,
hmm
I kind of do remember that game. I don't think I played it, but I'm pretty sure I watched it.
It's an older game. Like it's about 6, 7 years old now, at least, if not maybe a little bit longer. But it was a great game. But what do you got for your number 4?
The original Resident Evil, the director's cut specifically.
Okay.
And the reason I say director's cut is when I was a kid,
hmm
and I mean a youngin. Uh, there was a video game rental store, which I know anybody who watches this that's a little younger probably has no fucking clue what one of those
Yeah.
are. Um, and I picked up this game called Resident Evil Director's Cut. And I couldn't have been 7 or 8,
hmm
you know, and I didn't know what the game was, and I did not expect it to be a horror game. But fucking boy, was I surprised! I had nightmares for weeks, but I was so young and didn't know. But that game was my first introduction to horror games, and I'll never forget the impact it had on me as a young kid, because I knew there was horror movies as a kid, but I never thought you could play something like that, you know. um which, and a lot of people could argue that it's not really a horror game, but fuck it, 7 years old, it's pretty fucking scary. Like, when did it come out?
05 or 95, 96 maybe.
Release 96, so I was 6 years old
Uh,
roughly when I played this game.
yeah. You probably weren't very much so very not age appropriate for that.
No, but it was great.
Nah. But yeah, no, it's absolutely. Actually, my memory of that game is more about the remake because I didn't have a PlayStation 1. So, but
Okay.
and the remake was even more terrifying because they added those red like runner zombies. Like if you killed a
Mm-hmm.
zombie and left its body there and didn't burn it, like they
Yeah.
would come back and they would run at you. Yeah, it was terrifying. And the first time that the shark hit the glass, like
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like a computer monitor. I didn't realize it was a water tank until the shark hits it, and I jumped. Like and then the first time the dog jumps through the window, yeah, there's just so many great moments in that game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
I specifically remember the dog through the window.
mhm,
That's burned into my fucking brain. I'll never forget that. It's
yes.
horrifying, yeah.
But so for my number 4 is Five Nights at Freddy's. I did not think that this game would have the kind of visceral reaction that I had while I was playing it, but it very much so got me. And I always admit I've never actually played the game until I played the VR version, and I'm going back to it. I'm going to finish it. I don't give a shit. Like I'm going to get that platinum trophy and be like, F this game. But yeah, it was a little rough. Not gonna lie.
Um, yeah. I've never played a FNAF game
hmm
ever. Because I'm a bitch. I'll just call it. I'll just say it like it is. I don't normally play a lot of horror games, but I need to play a FNAF. You know what? Maybe one day I'll come down and play it on your VR, and you can record me playing it, so you don't feel as bad for yeeting.
yeah. There was a couple instances. I know I jump scared at least 3 times. I think while I was playing it, and then of course the one was so bad that I hit this shelf and knocked all kinds of stuff off the top of it, including one to hit me in the head. So, but
Well,
apparently though, I didn't realize until after I had stopped the stream, I hit this shelf so hard that I sent Funko Pops all the way over to my door that didn't even get on camera. Yeah, they covered 10 feet in the air. But yeah, you can't say, I can't see them in the footage. Like it's kind of ridiculous.
Um, yeah, it was hilarious, and it was so funny. Jumped, finally settled down, put face palmed,
Uh-huh.
literally. You
Yeah.
were like, "Fuck me!" Smack straight top of the head. It couldn't have been any better timing.
Yeah.
It
No,
could have been any better.
it was
It
great.
was. It looked planned.
Yeah.
It. I laughed so hard when you showed me that shit. That's one of my favorite Twitch clips I've ever seen of all time. I just want you to know that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And the other favorite, my favorite Twitch clip is one I'm a part of. So
Yeah, one that I actually clipped for him and
yeah,
was like sobbing while trying to make a clip.
bro, it was so good.
But so what do you got for your number 3?
Number 3 is Phasmophobia, and I know that game is brand new, but the fact that you can play a horror game with your friends is 10 out of 10 to me.
Yep. I
Um,
100% agree with that. It's a very enjoyable game.
and there's not a lot of horror games that I will purposefully go back and play again and again and again.
No, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, we definitely will be playing again.
Um, but no, it's got tons of replayability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it absolutely does. Like, I definitely hope we get more maps and stuff like that. It is still an early access game, so there's got to be more coming. Uh, yeah. But, so for my number 3 is a series that you've already mentioned, but a different version, a different game in the series, and that is Dead Space 2.
Yeah.
So for me, I never played the original Dead Space. I started with Dead Space 2, and holy hell, that game starts out crazy. Like, you're strapped into a straitjacket,
Yep.
and, like, things are killing people around you, and you're trying to run through corridors, and, yeah, you get popped out into space, and the first time, like, there's a child daycare center in that game, and it's just all these creepy little monsters. It's so creepy. I enjoyed the hell out of it, but, yeah, that game definitely gave me some anxiety, like, whenever I played through it back on PlayStation 3.
Yeah, and the only reason I put Dead Space 1, the original, over 2 is because I played the original first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean the second one, in my opinion, is a better spook game, but like Dead Space, the original Dead Space, just meant a lot to me as a video game player.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get the second one being on there.
But I've heard people say that the first one is a more pure experience and it's a little bit more actiony, and the second one is definitely way too actionly in the third one. So, but that creep happens in those series a lot of times.
Yeah, yeah.
But what do you got for your number 2?
Number 2 is The Evil Within. Um, that game is the storyline of that game more than anything. I felt the storyline was super fucking unique. They
Mm-hmm.
kind of took a page out of original Assassin's Creed, in my opinion. Uh, with basically sorry, the dog literally lost her mind. It scared me to death. My favorite horror game is owning a dog.
Yeah.
um, but no, the Evil Thin has like and back to relating it on Assassin's Creed, how they basically are trying to transport people's minds into a different realm, and the ever going process for that. But they turned it into a very dark and demented type thing, and the monsters in that game are fucking horrifying. They're all just nastiness. Um, no, Evil Within super good. Also, that's my third favorite clip of all time.
Mm.
Sparks. I actually clipped Sparks playing Evil Within forever ago,
Mm-hmm.
and his character just turned into the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man for no reason. He's crouch walking up to a box, and all of a sudden his arms just like fucking go in circles like mad. I don't know what happened. It was
Damn.
hilarious. But no, Evil Within's
Yeah, I
definitely.
played a little bit of the first one. but I ended up watching other people play it. It was more fun experience for me. I own
Right.
the second one. They say the second one's way better than the first one, and I need
It
to.
is.
I need
But
to.
again, I put it on there because it
Yeah.
was the first one I had played.
Oh no, no, absolutely. This is all personal preference. You know,
Right.
absolutely.
I'm super excited to hear your number one, but we
So,
got to get through two
yeah,
first.
you gotta get to two first, and two actually breaks one of my rules where I usually don't talk about a game more than once on these lists.
I
But
mean, fuck it.
yeah, I know. But this is a very very hyper stylized list, so that's why I do that on
Right.
this one. But the so number two is Resident Evil 4. Like I've never had a more visceral reaction to a game where I was in the first village there, everything was going okay. I'm in the house, and I was like, I hear a chainsaw.
Yeah. What
Sounds
is
close.
that?
What the? Where in the hell is that chainsaw coming from? And I just turn around and get my head sliced off. I
Yep.
did not know he was in the house, anything, and it shook me so bad that I just dropped the controller, dropped my GameCube controller right there, and I walked away, and I went and sat in my kitchen for like 20, 30 minutes, and finally went and got something to eat and did not touch the game till the next day. I left it running that whole time. Never turned it off, never anything, did not bother touching it. And finally
You're,
sat down the next day and was like, okay, I know what to expect now. Let's do it.
yeah. Resident Evil 4. That's actually Beth's favorite
Yeah.
game of all time, I believe, other than like Animal Crossing or something. But no, she has played Resident Evil 4 religiously, and I've never sat down and played it.
Fun.
I've heard it's probably the best Resident Evil. Um,
Yeah.
but I have a favorite Resident Evil, and it's gonna be mentioned on the next one. Uh, so yeah, but no, 4 is definitely a great choice. Chainsaw slicey slicey.
Definitely. Horrifying.
Yes,
Absolutely horrifying. But so all right then. So we've made it to your number one.
Resident Evil 2. I loved it when it originally came out, and I loved it when they remade it. Um, 2 is, in my opinion, the best Resident Evil. The remake was absolutely stunning. It looked great. It played great. But yeah, I wish 3 would have been remade as well as the second one, but in my opinion, it was fucking horseshit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but because I mean, Nemesis could have been so awesome, but he wasn't. And the reason I gave it to 2 instead of 3, because Nemesis is my favorite villain of all time,
Mm-hmm.
is because not only did they deliver on Resident Evil 2 back in the day, they also delivered on Resident Evil 2 with the remake. And I don't feel like that happened for 3 at all. But yeah, Resident Evil 2 was fun as fuck. I think I played that through that one with Beth
Yeah.
not too long ago.
So yeah, no, that's absolutely a great choice. My number one is a game I've only ever played once, and it will only ever be once because the game freaked me out so bad. And
Okay.
I'm surprised one of the games from this series didn't end up on your list, but maybe you've never played them either. And that's Silent Hills 2.
See, Silent Man, it's Silent Hill in general is, in my opinion, one of the best horror franchises.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for me to remember them because I played them so long ago.
Yeah.
Um, they need to do a re-release or remake of it, and that's
Mm-hmm.
never gonna happen.
No.
But
Well,
uh,
maybe.
what part got? Well, yeah, maybe. That actually might be in the works after some shit happened a little while ago.
Well, yeah. The rumors are right now that Sony is acquiring the licenses from all of Konami's games to remake and remaster and make new ones. So they won't flat out own the IPs, but they will license them from Konami.
So question: if it re-releases, are you gonna play it again?
I don't know.
So what part scared you so bad you couldn't play it again?
Just everything about that game tripped me out so bad. You know, so much I've
It
never played another Silent Hill since then.
Well, I mean, like Silent Hill is the perfect mix between psychological horror
Mm-hmm.
and thriller horror and jump scare horror,
Yeah.
and like Silent Hill had some of the best uh just best environments for a horror game. Like when you were there, you super felt like you were basically just gonna fucking die.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Silent Hill was like that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that game stuck with me in a big bad way, and it just I don't know, something about it does not make me want to go back.
Well, if they remake it, we'll both go back and play it. I challenge you to a duel.
Okay. All right. Well.
Because I might not be as big of a scaredy bitch as you are, but I am a big scaredy bitch when it comes to horror games.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. Oh yeah, that sounds like a plan then. But guys, that's all the news and our list for this week. But before we end the show, I just want to talk about a couple of things. Uh, so our schedule's been a little up and down lately, and I've been incredibly busy outside of this, and you've had some things too, and
yeah,
so we decided going forward for now, for the foreseeable future, that the show is going to be an every other week show.
yeah,
We think that's the best way to do it going forward. And there are going to be some other things coming to the channel. I'll talk about those more whenever I have them more firmly planted in place.
right.
But yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there at the end of the show. Thanks for everybody stops by and watches every week. Our numbers definitely fluctuate. We appreciate you guys very much.
We love you.
And that's all we got for this week, guys.
Yeah, man.
It was a good show, and like I said, thanks for everybody to stop by, and we'll see you guys next time.